Hello guys, Reza here. Welcome to another video from our Substance series. In this video, I'm going to respond to a Patreon request. David Law asked the difference between stencil and projections and different workflows inside Substance Painter. It's actually a very good question since both tools and methods can be used for painting artwork and decals in your object inside Adobe Substance Painter. So I'm going to use the opportunity and kind of clarify these workflows and when and how to use them. Let's get started. I've got a simple chair in the scene, and of course this will be available via my Patreon so you guys can follow along. Now I have three texture sets, 1, 2, 3, one for the legs, one for the hinges, another one for the actual fabric, and I've got just a very simple material setup for these texture sets. Now let's see how we can make use of projections and stencil to add a logo, let's say in here. I'm going to start with projection. Now the projection is a tool actually that allow to paint a material by projecting them on the screen. Because it's a tool and that tool is available here, you need to have a dedicated layer for it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go in, add a layer. Now you may have noticed that Substance drops the layer inside my folder, and the reason for that is, I'm just going to press delete. The reason for that is that folder was not selected, and if you don't select it, then by default Substance thinks that you want this layer to be part of this group. What you can do is to select the group and only then go and add layer, and that layer will be inserted on the top of your main hierarchy. Just a nifty trick I thought I would share. So I'm just going to name this projection, and we are going to use projection for the first chapter of this video. Now once that's done, you need to import your image or artwork or logo or whatever you have in mind. To do that, you need to go on the bottom section of your assets panel, click on this import resources, and I am going to actually drag and drop my logo artwork here. So it's a black and white PNG logo that I have for my website. I'm just going to drag and drop it there. Now you need to specify what type of an image you're going to use. Is that going to be an alpha? Is that going to be color LUT? Is that going to be an environment, or is it a texture? Of course it is a texture. We are going to use it to paint on our surface. Now the next part you need to specify is import your resources to current session, meaning that if you close Substance Painter and next time you open it, you won't be able to find this image, or project chair, because the name of this project is chair and I've already saved it. Now it will be saved within that project directory, and if I open the project chair, I should be able to see it, or you would like to import it into my assets permanently, which I really don't want. So I'm just going to go current session because this is not something that I redo after this tutorial. So current session will do, and I'm going to go import. Now it will import it into my texture tab. So if I kind of expand that, you can see I have texture tab, and it has been placed somewhere here. Yep, there you go. It's called logo light. As long as you know the name, you should be able to find it really easily. Now with that, let's actually fine tune our camera. I'm just gonna hold Alt left mouse button and Shift to snap to orthographic. Move the camera forward to find the area that I would like to project to. Let's say I would like to project the logo to this area. Now I can use the projection tool. I'm just going to go onto the toolbar and click on projection. Now, so far, I have nothing on the projection. I need to specify what I would like to have on the projection. Now I'm going to scroll down with the projection layer selected. I definitely do not want to have normal, metal, or roughness. You can create those separately and drag and drop them if you want to. All I want is at the moment base color. This is a non-reflective fabric and I do not want to kind of ruin the effect by having them enabled for no reason, because whatever you paint, you will paint on these channels as well, as long as you're aware. Now I'm going to go to base color, click on the base color, not on the color bar, on the actual base color, and I'm just going to look for logo. And again, we have Substance Painter logos, and this is the logo I have, and I have it in the scene. Now you may say, Reza, it's way too big. Shall you zoom in? You can, but this is way too big and we need to use better shortcuts to adjust its size and its position. And that's the key S on your keyboard. So I'm just going to hold S and right mouse button. You can see I can kind of shrink that to the position. And I'm going to hold down S again and middle mouse and just position it right at the center. Again, right mouse button with the letter S held down to resize, and middle mouse to reposition. You can use left mouse button to rotate it, but in this case I really don't want to rotate it. All right, that should really do the trick for me. Now with that, I can start painting. And because it's a PNG, it's not going to project the black background on my fabric. So something to be mindful of, make sure to have something with transparency so it kind of looks good at the end. I'm going to exit by selecting the paint tool, and there I have my result. Very, very simple. Now, that's how you use projection in Substance Painter. Let's see how we use Stencil to get almost a similar effect. Okay, now I'm just going to hide projection, and this time I'm going to use a brand new layer for Stencil. Now here's the main difference. Instead of using an empty layer, a basically paint layer, you need to use a fill layer with color assigned to it already. So the material, I'm still going to use base color material. For the color, I'm gonna go with a reddish type of color, something like that, maybe just a tad stronger. You can have roughness enabled as well if you want. Now here's the cool thing about this method, that whatever change you make in here will have an impact on your stencil. So let's say, just for the sake of simplicity and to get a slightly different look, I know it's not going to be super realistic, but I'm going to bring down the roughness ever so slightly. So this fabric is now has got roughness, which is odd, but anyhow, I'm going to add a little bit of metalness to it as well, just to change the nature of this, right? So you can see it completely reacts to the light. With that layer created, I'm just going to rename it to Stencil. Now here comes the main difference. Stencil is an additional grayscale mask. So in order to get the stencil, you need to create the mask, and of course within that mask you need to paint inside the mask with brush stroke. Well, if you want to paint with brush stroke, we need to have a paint layer. Exactly. So I'm just going to right click on the mask, and I'm just going to do add paint. Now we should be able to paint inside the mask, and that's a big difference. Contrary to the alpha, which is applied for each individual stamp, the stencil is a sort of a global mask that applied from the viewport point of view. So how I'm going to move the camera play a huge role as opposed to a normal individual stamp. Now, as soon as you create that paint layer inside the mask, you get this stencil. Yep. Now, I really would like to use a black and white image as opposed to a transparent image for the stencil. So I'm going to import the black and white logo this time to my assets library. Again, using it as a texture, I would like to import it to only the current session and import. Now it's called logo_JPEG, and you can see the difference is it's a JPEG and I've got a black background because Stencil tends to remove the black and keeps the white portion. All right, I think we know the rest from this point onward. I'm going to go to Stencil and I am just going to look for logo. I've got the old PNG logo and now the new JPEG logo, and I get this. Now you may say, what are the controls? And here's the good part. The shortcuts are exactly the same. So if you remember with the projection, we had the letter S held down and we had, so if I hold down letter S, we had a right mouse button to change the size, a middle mouse to change the position, and of course left mouse button to rotate it. It's exactly the same. So all you need to do is just to memorize the letter S for stencil probably and apply it to projection as well. So let's say that's exactly what I want. And by the way, you can change the opacity of the brush here. You can have it as tiling and not tiling. So for example, if you're doing arrows on a board or a fabric, then you can probably tile this if you want. But in this case, obviously, I do not want that to be tiled. Let's say that's what I want. I start painting. Excellent. Once that's done, you can just select on the layer and everything will disappear. So you can see that all the attributes that I have can be changed here. Now the cool part is the actual color of my stencil can be changed here, and you can have a completely different color in no time at all. Obviously, for both of these guys, you can still apply generator, mask editor to add grime and dirt and color chips, so on and so forth, to add a little bit of decay to the end result so it doesn't look brand new. But of course, this does look like a brand new chair, so I really don't mind the cleanness of this logo. But I really like the versatility and the sort of variety that you can add to your logo using stencil method in no time at all. If you were to do that with projection, you actually need to get in to the fabric material and make some changes there. It's not going to be as easy as just changing that to a different color. Remember, with this, we're projecting the actual image, whereas in this one, we're using a mask to do that, which gives us, in my opinion, a much better control. All right, I'm just going to select that, and that is it. That should do it for this tutorial. I hope I could clarify the difference between the two, and obviously you need to approach them slightly differently, but all in all, both methods have their own merits and they're super easy to do. I hope you found this video useful and enjoyed it. You can of course support this channel via Patreon, and you can follow me on Twitter for all the upcoming projects. Thank you again, guys. Keep safe, and until the next video, see you guys later.